Oh, Mike. Oh, I know you by now. I said he'll be here. Last minute, but he'll be here with a cup of coffee. EOS. Yeah. Hello, Courtney. Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you just fine.
Excellent. It's actually working. No, he's all set. You don't have to sign in for the critical thing. Just a very public hearing. It's not really a presentation. Kind of framing it for the board. Have another minute. This is the sign. The sign stuff. This is just going to be a resolution, Jim, adopting the amendment for the PDD. But then this is a change to the, yeah, that's it, to the access road.
That's just the wording that the.
This amends the solar development access and site plan for 60. Yeah, so it's just an amendment. I think it's changing the road. That's, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the wording for the.
Okay.
I just have to.
Thank you. No, Gina's not virtual. Jim, you're going to take the sign amendment, right? Okay. Okay, you guys ready? You guys ready? Let me know when you're ready. Good evening and welcome to the February 2nd meeting of the Glenville Town Board. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. For tonight's invocation, I just ask you to take a moment to offer your own intentions in silence. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Martin?
Here.
Councilman Ramichardt? Here. Councilman Guthrie?
Here.
Councilman Fauci?
Here. Again, welcome. We do have a
the full agenda here. We do have one add-on at the end. It's going to be add-on resolution number 1, designated myself as the voting delegate at the Association of Towns annual business meeting for 2022. We do that annually, and that is the only addition and change to the agenda. So with that, we'll start with town council reports, and I'll start on my left with Councilman Galuski.
Nothing new to report, Mr. Supervisor.
Councilman Martin.
Yeah, just a couple things. I went to the first meeting of the Glenville local development appropriation meeting, earlier, the first meeting of this year, earlier this week. And I just want to welcome, I guess there's a new slate of officers, if you will. Tracy Conlon, the chairperson, Brian Craig is the vice chairperson, and Dick Houston staying on for another year as treasurer. Amanda Gonzalez Barone is recording secretary, and rounding out the group is Scott Oswald, who's been on for a few years, and Chris has been on since the beginning, Everett, and Richard Thomas. And just a further report on their the treasurer's report I get every month, and just to give everybody no idea how the organization's doing. Their total assets now total $421,000 a year, or $421,000. And the continuing problem for the organization is it operates on a loss. We're losing about $12,000 a year, but that's to be expected given the operations there. And then I also want to report, I went to the Business Association meeting this morning of the 3 towns, just a report on that more. It was very interesting to see and very interesting to hear from our neighbors to the north, the progress they're making. Looking for that a lot of support here for a report about Glenville. Then we'd just like to see everybody here in this room getting together and having this discussion. Again, it was very interesting to hear about the progress that's being made among our towns there. They went through a lot of detail, and it was a nice breakfast also supplied by Lily's Cafe in town. So we were the whole community, and it was just good to see you. That's it.
Thank you. Councilman Ramatar.
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. So I had a chance last week to meet with GBPA leadership, Dick Eusis and Dave Hemmel, to discuss some thoughts for 2022 and connecting more with the business community. So GBPA does a great job of sponsoring and running Oktoberfest, but we looked at discuss some other things that we can do to get the small businesses in town more involved. There's more to come, a lot of good things, almost like a chamber-like entity without competing with the chamber itself. So that was a good meeting. Also had a chance to meet with Mike Seaburn and Tom Capola, superintendent of the highway, commissioner of public works at the highway garage. I wanted to just take a visit. They gave me a tour. It was good to get a tour of the facility, of the offices and the garages, and meet some of the team members. It's been a long time. Looked at some of the equipment, some of the resolutions that we're going to be voting on tonight. I had a chance to see what was the need of repair, some of the things that we had, but it was a great meeting. Looking forward to meeting the rest of that team sometime in the future. And that's it for now.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the public hearing to hear all those interested in the proposed zoning map amendment for the commercial planned development district at 66 Freeman's Bridge Road at the town of Glenville. I'll open the public hearing. I'll ask if you, sir, I'm sorry, I was again had Mike, your name? All right, if you would not mind going to the podium and just giving the overview to the board, if that's okay. That's only because the microphone picks you up there and the folks on the webinar can hear you better.
Good evening. Thanks for having me out tonight. My name is Chris Koenig with CT Mail Associates on behalf of US Light Energy, the applicant. So I'm here tonight to request the board approve an amendment to the 66 Freeman's Bridge Road Commercial Plan Development District. Just give a brief overview of the project. There are 2 components to the project. One is a 4.125 megawatt AC community solar project in the rear portion of the 42-acre parcel. And the other component is a approximately 4.4 acre commercial development area along the frontage of Freeman's Bridge Road, which is the location of the former Sonowski's greenhouse facility, which is now vacant and abandoned. So the amendment tonight is to amend the access to the solar project. Previously, the access was through the Auto Solutions property to the north from Freeman's Ridge Road through the salvage yard and then into the sort of the upper field, I'll call it, the northern portion of the array, as seen on the map there. But we want to amend the access to the southern corner of the property, right next to the existing driveway or the existing greenhouse facility. Some specifications of the detail of the new driveway. There's actually an existing paved asphalt apron that was used as the parking area for the greenhouse. That will stay. That's approximately 45 feet in length from the edge of pavement of Freeman's Ridge Road. And then beyond that, we plan to add approximately 260 feet of base course asphalt pavement of width between 12 and 20 feet to a point just beyond where the existing garage is. And then at that point, the access road will transition to a pervious gravel surface, which will lead into the array sort of at the south end of the project. So that's the amended access. And all the new road from the edge of the apron to where it enters the facility is approximately 1,070 feet. And then the northern access will be removed from the site plan. We met with the PZC last month, and they approved the project with no concerns. And now it's to you to consider the amendment. Thank you.
So Chris, that line, that black line behind, I don't know, that little structure there, right where it transitions, is that trees?
We're proposing vegetative screening there to block the view of the solar array from Freeman's Bridge Road.
Do you have any plans for transition from the asphalt to the crusher run? Like how much of that on the southern part of that road, the southern side of it, do you own? Where's that lot end? I don't see lot lines on there.
It's basically right up along the lot line, the
Right on
road
the lot
is. So there's beyond that to the south is the National Grid transmission line.
Oh.
And there's actually a parcel that's a railroad easement.
Yep.
There's no tracks, it's just a line. So that's the neighboring parcel. And then further south, you have All Seasons, you have the bus garage, and you have storage, and then you have the salvage yard.
So you're basically up to the line.
Correct. Yep.
So if the board remembers our discussion through this over the couple of months, it's been important to the town to begin to really emphasize the need for paved parking lots and entryways in a commercial corridor. And I want to thank the applicant for working with us on this. We didn't get as much as we had liked before transition to gravel, but we're hoping that doesn't have a visual impact from the commercial corridor itself, from the road, much of an impact of seeing that gravel.
Correct. Yep. And also keep in mind the front portion of the property is set up for commercial redevelopment. Mm-hmm. So there's an opportunity there at that southern entrance to perhaps have a shared driveway or something like that in the future that hasn't been fully planned. But there would be an opportunity to share that access. In which case the surface may be improved even further than beyond the base coat.
Thank you. Anything else?
This is going to continue to be one lot formally, correct?
Correct.
There's no subdivision here.
Yep.
Will we be getting a proposed district narrative on this? In other words, a text describing the limits of the district, the uses that are allowed, the conventional requirements, and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, we submitted that for the initial PDD. That was back in December 2021, and it had an entire narrative sort of on how it fit in with the provision of the zoning code, which allows PDD.
Just as a reminder, just so we're on the same page, the PDD was already established. This is an amendment to that to change the entry of the road from the north, from, I think it was a different parcel altogether. It was
Correct.
Auto Solutions
Yeah.
parcel. They're changing the access to the southern part of the property. And this is, all this is doing is amending the existing PDD that's already been established.
Right.
That's what I was wondering, I do recall that going through.
Yes, and all that was established in that language.
Yeah, so the initial language should have the, yeah.
So all we're considering here today is an amendment that would allow the access road to go to the southern part of the parcel. And in that, our discussion was that we wanted a certain amount of asphalt. We wanted all asphalt, but you can't get everything you ask for in life, I've learned at a very young age. And so we got the 300 feet.
So when do you intend on starting construction?
As soon as possible. We have a few more regulatory agency permits to work through. But after that, hopefully this summer. Yeah.
Melissa, I know you're on the line here. Do you have anything to add? You are self-muted. If you want to add anything, just unmute yourself.
No, I think that pretty much covers everything.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else have anything for Chris? Okay, thank you. Thanks, appreciate it. So the public hearing is still open. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to speak on this public hearing? Is there anyone on the webinar who wishes to speak on this public hearing? If you raise your virtual hand, we'll open your microphone. Anyone else wish to be heard on this? Going once, either in the room or on the webinar? Going twice? Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Move on to privilege of the floor, which I will open right now. Privilege of the floor is open. Anyone, we have no one signed up. If anyone wishes to be heard at privilege of the floor, please raise your hand, or on the webinar, raise your virtual hand if you're interested in being heard at privilege of the floor. Going once, going twice. Seeing none either in person or on the webinar, privilege of the floor is now closed. Supervisors' comments to the board. I really do not have any comments today to share. Councilman Martin did mention that we had a pretty nice event here this morning where the 4 supervisors of the towns that comprise the Burnt Hills, Boston Lake district got together and talked about a variety of things. It basically was the state of the towns of four different towns. And it was interesting, and what struck me actually, as Councilman Martin kind of alluded to, was all that's going on to the north of us as well. What struck me was how many, whatever we're going through, the other communities are going through. And I picked up on what was important in other communities, just like ours: pedestrian access, expansion of their parks, all the same things that we're really dealing with solar, all the things that we are dealing with. And it's just a great opportunity for residents to come out and hear all the different communities and how they're dealing with things. But a great opportunity for us, I think, also to sit down and share ideas and see how things are doing. Supervisor Barrett, after my presentation, I don't know if it was facetious or not, said he learned a lot. Did he not? So hopefully we're teaching Clifton Park a few things. So that's really all I have to report on tonight. And we'll keep moving forward with the agenda. So with that, we'll move on to resolution 8, scheduling a public hearing, proposing a local law to amend the sign requirements code of the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? Second. Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, a resolution that sets a public hearing for February 16th, 2022 at 7 p.m. here in this room. And the purpose of the public hearing will be for any comments from the public regarding a proposed amendment to our sign code. And this is specifically talking, I believe, about changes to sign treatments in the Glenville Business and Technology Park as they relate to monument signs, the number, type, and size. There is a draft of the law available for the public to review. That'll be on the website. And we look forward to receiving any comments they may have at that time.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Rambo?
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 9, adopting the zoning map amendment to the approved commercial planned development district at 66 Freeman's Bridge Road. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do
it.
I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this is a resolution that adopts the change to the plan, or the commercial plan development district that we just had a public hearing on at 66 Freeman's Bridge Road.
Any other questions or comments?
Oh, and I should mention also too that this also encompasses the secret negative.
Thank you. Any other else? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Rambo?
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 10, appointing Rosina Coonley to the position of Deputy Receiver of Taxes. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. As you all know, there's been a vacancy in that position for some time. We did advertise. We have interviewed. Myself and the Receiver of Taxes comprised the town committee to conduct the interviews. We found Rosina Coonley to be very qualified and a very good opportunity for the town to hire and to bring into service in the position of Deputy Receiver of Taxes. She's been in the position. She's at 19 Joyous Lane. She's been doing well. We threw her in to the position during probably the busiest time of the entire year. So it was definitely baptism by trial. But she's doing well and she enjoys it. So any questions or comments on Rosina? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Rambo?
Yes.
Councilman Jefferson?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution, appointing Sarah Blackwood to the position of clerk part-time at the Glenville Senior Center. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Much like the other position, we had in our recently enacted budget, a new position at the senior center. I am going to call on Vicki Hillis, if you wouldn't mind going to the microphone, and just maybe talking about your experience in the interview and telling us a little bit about Sarah, if you don't mind. I figured it'd be best to say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. We did have a number of applicants for the position. Ms. Blackwood comes to us with great experience with the New York State Lottery and seems to be a great fit for our senior population. She'll be working in the afternoons from 1 to 4 and helping with a variety of clerical tasks related to the human services position.
Great. Thank you. And we're very much looking forward, Sarah, to having you on board. I know it's difficult on Vicki. We split her time between the two facilities, and when she's up here, I know her mind is sometimes maybe worried about what's going on down there. So it's going to be great to have you on board. So welcome. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Rambo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Welcome, Sarah. You came in on board just in time for Burrito Thursday, which is tomorrow, but don't get used to it. We don't have it every Thursday. So you came in at the perfect time. I know. Would you like an email copy of the past resolution, or are you okay with? Okay. You want to give it real quick? Okay. That's okay. We'll take 1 minute while he's getting that. We can have Sarah tell us about herself. What do you want everyone to know, Sarah? Oh, wow. What school district are you in? You're in Scotia Glenville, yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, you're very familiar with campus. Very nice. Where in Vermont are you from? Okay. There's like a Woodstock up there, right? Woodstock, Vermont? Half right, okay. Well, welcome again. You're welcome. Okay, so now we'll move on to item number 12, resolution authorizing the purchase of a flail mower for the highway department. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. So Highway Superintendent has let us know that the town is in need of a Bengal Series 50-inch flail head mower. It's already in the 2022 adopted budget, and to save on expenses, it's going to recommend utilizing the pricing available to the town under the New York State contract list. So this resolution is to purchase that piece of equipment coming from the Highway Fund, machinery and equipment, for a total of $15,348.
Thank you. Has to be named the Bengal series, huh?
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
specific.
I'm not going to let it go. They should have a good shot in the Super Bowl, though. It is the year of the Tiger. I just learned that. So,
Team of Destiny.
yeah.
Rooting for 'em. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, authorizing the purchase of a brush cat for the Parks Department. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. So again, Commissioner of Public Works has let the town know that the town's in need of purchasing a brush cat attachment, which is basically used for cutting small branches, saplings, and thick grass and things like that. It's already included in the 2022 budget. To save on cost, he's utilizing the pricing available to town under the New York State contract. He's recommending the purchase of this attachment go to Clark Equipment for a total sum of $8,193 coming from the town general parks equipment budget.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 13, authorizing the purchase, resolution 14, authorizing the purchase of a compact truck loader for the highway department. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. So another piece of equipment that the superintendent has informed the town that they're in need of. It's already in the 2022 adopted budget. And again, to save on expenses, he's utilizing the New York State contract pricing. This is for a T4 Bobcat compact track loader, which is going to cost $73,519. But however, we're trading in the current Bobcat, which is going to go for $40,000. So we're saving some money there. The resolution is to spend the $73,519 to purchase this piece of equipment.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 15, authorizing the purchase of a small articulated loader for public works. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, Commissioner of Public Works again informed the town that he's in need of purchasing one small articulated loader with attachment for clearing sidewalks and snow and various uses in parks and towns. He wants to purchase basically a 54-inch utility 60-inch, very complicated machinery that he knows we need. It's already in the 2022 adopted budget. And again, to save on pricing, we're using the New York State contract. Purchase going to Clark Equipment for the total sum of $47,226, which is coming out of the Highway Fund.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? I just got to say, this is an exciting board meeting. We have not done this much purchasing and hiring, I think, in a long time. Someone's got to check Jason's pulse back there. I mean, this is one thing. I'm surprised Chief Janik's not up here trying to get something purchased. Yeah, my goodness. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 16, authorizing the purchase and installation of heating units at the Glenville Highway Pole Barn. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor. So after we pay for all this equipment, it's got to be heated, otherwise it's going to freak and break, right? So the current heating unit is, has come to the end of its useful life, and the highway superintendent has recommended that we replace it we replace the current oil fired hot air unit with 2 natural gas unit heaters. For the price of $9,985 to McAuliffe and Sons. That is coming out of the highway fund as well.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Resolution 17, adopting the Schenectady County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Supervisor, this appears to be adoption of a hazardous mitigation plan for the town. It's adopting, I think, the one that's been prepared by the county. It looks like
Yes.
on behalf, they've done the research on the topic and have I guess a plan that we can put forth so the community can deal with these hazards in the event that we spill or something like that. So, that's a good start.
Thank you. Melissa, do you have anything to add to that, or is that sufficient? You have to unmute.
No, nothing to add. Thank you, though.
Thank you. Okay, any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 18, approving the minutes of the regular town board meeting held on January 19th. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. As you can see, this is just the adoption of those minutes from January 19th, 2022. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. We'll go on to add-on number 1 before new business, and that's resolution designating myself as the voting delegate at the Association of Towns 2022 annual business meeting, which will again be a virtual meeting as it was last year. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second?
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin?
Yes.
Councilman Ramichardt?
Yes.
Councilman Burgess?
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next item is new business. I'll start on my left with Councilman Gavriski.
Just to say that on a whim, on my birthday, I put $20 on the Bengals because I felt like there wasn't a whole lot going on in Cincinnati and people were not going to be getting COVID. And if it hits, I'm going to win a couple $100. So if you guys are free agents for the Super Bowl, you should root for the Bengals, and that's all.
I didn't know football was still being played. And it's a little freaky how Johnny Fever dies, or whatever his name is. You're too young to remember WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, what was his name? Howard No, what was his real name? Howard Nessman died, I think, the day they won.
Oh.
And you have to, I'll explain to you.
I'll check it out.
He knows Ghostbusters, but he doesn't know WKRP. Councilman Martin.
Nothing.
Councilman Ramichardt.
Nothing new.
I also have nothing new, so with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move that.
I have a second.
I'll second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.